Many people ask why a 30-day detox? Why not a week or 2 weeks? Can you speak to that a little?
I'm happy to address it, and I can address it at two or three different levels, a kind of philosophical, strategic level, but then I can address it, if you will, at a tactical, operational, or logistical level, and I think I can briefly do justice to each of those as best I understand. When you start with the category of detoxification, do you even need periodically to detoxify? A resounding yes. As a rhetorical question, a resounding yes from my personal experience, from the experience I've had with other colleagues and with their clients. So in the 21st century, we are marinating in a sea of toxic minerals, persisting pollutants that are hormone disruptors, solvent residues, mold products, radioisotopes. All of these are consumers of protective antioxidants. They cause wasting of minerals and cofactors. And if you balance them out based on some self-assessments that we have talked about and can talk about, when you balance things out, you can swim in the sea of the 21st century, marinating in the sea of chemicals without high risk. It's a little hard to say with zero risk, but you can balance out the pro-oxidants with protective antioxidants. And the sea cleanse is helpful on a weekly basis to determine your daily need for PERC potent sea guard, for the mineralized ascorbates. Then, every once in a while, and in the traditions that I have studied across the globe, they all recommend about a month a year for healthy people, or for people who are restoring their health, people who are recovering from 20th and 21st century exposures, etc. You might want to stretch the same program more gently over 2 or 3 months. So the first question is, do we need detox? And the answer is a resounding yes. Can we do it in a day? I think not, like 1 day a year. And I know people who spend $40 or $60 on a 1-day juice cleanse. And I wouldn't stop people from doing it, especially if it's made from biodynamic or organically sourced fresh juices. However, you cannot cleanse the toxic matter. You cannot remove the schmutz. You cannot wash out the liver and the spleen and the kidneys and the intestines, and by the way, the central and gut nervous system and the muscles and the bones and the joints and the rest of the body, the skin, etc. You can't renew that in a day, but you don't need to be detoxing every day. So in most, quote, wisdom traditions, you devote 1 month a year, particularly in the winter, but you devote 1 month a year to a healthier, now you're always healthy during the year, but you're healthier for that month, doing the detox as we recommended, the detox in a box, the PERC for detox items that synergistically help renew and restore. And we recognize that for some people, they have such a load of toxic matter that it would be better to stretch that out over 2 or 3 months, at least the first time. So it is a self-guided program based on self-assessments, first morning urine pH, sea cleanse, hydration status, and so forth. And for healthy people, a month is really quite right. And 2 weeks, and it's a fair question, if a month is enough, could I get by on 2 weeks? Or could I get by on 3 weeks? Or could I get by on 3.5 weeks? And all these are fair questions, and I don't mean to be so categorical about it, but if you push too fast, you might feel worse on the way to feeling better, which we don't recommend. We know that while people are doing their, quote, month of detoxification each year, that they have other responsibilities and other things going on in their lives. It's not like you take a month and go into retreat into a cave and just meditate and someone brings you food and you're in the sun and so forth and so on. So it's a subjective answer. It's an answer based on my experience of wisdom traditions, that a month, a year is about right to detox, to cleanse the different organs and systems of the body. That if we try to do that in a more cosmetic way, like in a day or two, we either will be fooling ourselves, which is not recommended, or we won't feel well because of how fast some of that stuff flushes and cleanses out. Some of it fat soluble, some of it water soluble. We need fiber to bind it on the way out in the intestines. We need the right kind of oil sweat to get rid of some of it through the skin and through salt and soda baths and through other things that are easily accommodated into the habits of healthier daily living. And then 1 month a year, a box of Perk Detox, done in 1 to 3 months, depending on the choice of the individual, is a rebalancing, is a necessity to survive well, to live long and well in the 21st century.